Okay, well, it's super hot, and I am super uncomfortable again, and I need to produce footage. So, we have another, like, Operation Apollo route that I have to pair with something, which means we're gonna have to grab a route which has that, so that's a thing we can do. Vor or Mauer? Well, Mauer, Wait, would I be stuck with the Psycho... Oh, thank God I wouldn't. I can use the Bound Dock. Well, you know what? We'll bust out the Bound Dock. No. Just... Because... It's a death trap. It's a death trap. That's the reality of the situation.
Heading out.
I mean, unlike Destroy Gundam in Alliance vs. ZAF 2, where it's so broken. I mean, at some point we'll get to the whole, like, Armoro as a member of the Titans, and you almost friendly fired me. Really? This thing doesn't hit quite as well in melee if you're in that mode. It's basically just there to let you hover fly. Oh my God, Kakarkon, stop it! Ow.
Good move. It's not over yet. I won't let you.
You'll all die.
Away.
There.
Oh, that shotgun is so unreliable.
You're mine. I won't let you.
You know, you'd figure point blank is where one would use a shotgun.
What are you doing?
Hey, neither of them escaped. That doesn't happen often. In fact, I can't recall the moment if that's happened before during this LP.
This is the end. I won't forgive anybody who gets in my way.
You know, rising immunity is nice to prevent stun lock, but sometimes... Oh! That's rare. His bottom blew up first. That does not happen often. Wow, it's just a rare mission.
I'm coming back now.
A lot of things happen that don't normally happen. No, Bound Dock.
Let's go.
I mean, the Masala is good as an artillery piece, but...
The enemy is here. Looks like he's been waiting for me all along.
You're just being paranoid for, which is entirely predictable. You were programmed for it. God, there is no tracking on that beam gun.
This is what
They keep talking about Earth's gravity. Are we operating by the expanse rules where, like, space colonies only produce a third or, like, half of Earth's gravity? I mean, I remember reading somewhere that in Gundam, space colonies emulate, like, 80% of the Earth's gravity. Now, why not a full G? Well, because the more G-force you subject the structure to, the more G's it has to, like, withstand. So basically, if you have a space colony that is emulating a full Earth G, it has to be able to sustain its weight at that G level. And that's the problem, is that if you reduce the G's, then you can make the colony out of cheaper material, and you don't have to worry about the weight of what's inside the colony. Everything just gets easier to build. And that's why in The Expanse, they make space colonies and so forth, well, not like we see here, but stuff like, Phoebe Station and Eros, or whatever it was. All that stuff is set up at a third of an Earth G. Part of that's because Belters simply cannot handle a full Earth G. Because that's the issue, we evolved to grow in an environment with gravity. All life that we know of evolved to operate in an environment with gravity. So you take it out into space, and the only organisms that aren't particularly affected are those to whom gravity was not really an issue in the first place, like microorganisms, single-celled creatures that are typically in a fluid environment that don't really have to bother with gravity. But even they show abnormalities, because there's all sorts of things in terms of the developmental biology of an organism that are influenced by gravitational forces. That's part of the reason why we can't colonize space without space colonies, because, I mean, technically colonization requires growing crops, but you can hardly say you've colonized someplace if you can't reproduce in the location. And we can't expect or hope to successfully reproduce without some kind of major bioengineering unless we're in an environment with gravity. So, in order to colonize space, you would need a place for pregnant women, ultimately, to inhabit that is subject to a constant, regular source of G-force. Preferably as close to an Earth G as possible. So that would be a space colony, because on a spaceship, G-forces could be created through acceleration, or possibly rotation. But if it's rotation, it's unlikely to be a full Earth G, and if it's acceleration, it's not going to be constant. And it would be dangerous to have, like, an irregular G be applied to a pregnant mother. Like, that wouldn't make sense. So if you're going to colonize space, you need large structures that emulate G-forces. That's actually one of the problems with colonizing Mars, is that not only is Martian gravity irregular, like, there are parts of the planet with measurably more or less gravity due to the density of the subsurface matter, but Mars, at its peak, is like 2/3 of an Earth G, so not great.
Burn everything!
Now Venus has got like 85% of Earth's gravity. And yeah, sure, it'll probably take 1,000 years, or a few thousand years to colonize, but once the time and effort is put in, it truly becomes a second Earth. You can't even really do that with Mars. Not only does Mars get so much less light that you'd have to, like, power crops and so forth artificially with fusion or fission reactors or stuff like that.
Let's go!
But there's also the fact that Mars had an atmosphere at one point. We know this, and it left the planet. Probably because of the low gravity, because to maintain certain atmospheric compositions, you need planets that exert a certain amount of G-forces. And so fundamentally, Mars, even if we were to give it an atmosphere heavy enough to breathe, without some very sophisticated planetary engineering, it would become uninhabitable again. Like, you can't even avoid that. This is actually one of the missions where you can get an easy S rank by just avoiding all hits and solely attacking the Adhumula. However, I already didn't do that because I used a scattering beam gun, so who cares?
No way! Not getting away!
I'll hit them at once.
Let's keep it going. This is the end.
You can really prolong the assault gauge when you're just mashing a battleship like this.
Burn everything.
It doesn't go anywhere. Oh, it's destroyed, alright. But it didn't suffer a critical end. That camera
coming
just
back
clipped
now.
through the ship. Yeah, because I used a scattering beam gun. I didn't get 100% accuracy. Oh well. Five enemy units? Okay. Oh, is this that one? I have a feeling I know what this is.
Heading out. I just want to know what my real name is. You got in my way.
Okay, I fell just short to be able to get on the plateau. Oh! Wasn't sure if that would hit, but I moved anyway, and I'm glad I did. Ow! Guns first, take out the guns. Oh good, we finally got one of them. Oh.
This is the end. This is the end.
I don't think we have to worry about the one that's like aiming completely out of the map. What are these units? A G-Bull? Here? Now? Why?
Gets in my way. This is the end.
Not getting away!
This is the end.
This is the end! What?
You just catch it from like the one turret I had. Whoa.
This is the end.
Oh my god, I can't even find an angle to hit that turret.
This is ugly!
Okay, I'm gonna have to like just creep up on it. Because it is still shooting us.
This is the end.
There we go.
Die! Good.
I'll hit them at once.
Let's keep it going.
This is the end. You all die. Damn it. This is the
Go
end.
for it!
Come on. Oh boy. Too close for those to work.
I won't forgive anybody who gets in my way.
What was even the purpose of that mission? I don't think we've played anything like that before. Like a bunch of one-year war machines and a big tray, a one-year more
back
land
now.
battleship? What the hell? Moving force, use restricted terrain to set a trap for them? Okay, and we're in another one-year war map. Escaping to the Pacific Ocean. Ooh, we have a defense condition. Haha. You know what? I think we need the responsiveness of a Gaplon.
Heading out.
And I know Recover is not going to help our defensive target because it's not a mobile suit or a mobile armor, but it allows me to be more aggressive and use myself as a bit of a meat shield.
Enemy mobile suit. Like I thought they were. Won't let anyone get in my way. Those who do will.
Okay, yeah, this building is going to be a source of problems, so let's get rid of that. There we go.
Everybody gets in my way.
Okay, that's potentially a problem.
Burn everything. I got you. Get this.
Don't let him get a shot off.
You got in my way. Because you got in my way. There, got you. Why are you in front of me? Why? Because you got in my way.
Okay. Damn it. You gotta eliminate them long before they get close to the ship, because otherwise you run an elevated risk of friendly firing the unit you're supposed to be defending. You gotta watch your and I just friendly fired it. Now, defensive missions are always the worst, because you have no initiative in combat. Your enemy gets to choose when the fight starts, where the fight happens. I hate escort missions. Okay, half a minute. I am completely out of beam charge, though. Okay, I can't use melee that close, or else I'll hit the ship. But I have no beam. Oh, danger, danger. Okay, 6 seconds. Come on, don't die. 3, 2, 1. Yes! That got a little close there. Closer than I would have liked. Despite me really getting in there to try to prevent that eventuality from happening. No.
Heading out.
It's just a death trap. I'm not gonna do... Like, you can kind of make the Psycho Gundam Mark II work, because you can stay in your hover mode, where you have constant beam protection, and still use an attack that's accurate. Whereas the Mark I only has the scattering beam gun, but no. Even the Mark II's dangerous to use.
In a city like this?
The only reason it works in multiplayer is if you're up against noobs who don't realize that it's actually kind of crap, and they're just intimidated by the size of it, so they constantly run away from you.
Be strong.
I don't take orders from the enemy.
How does that happen? He is right there!
Stop! Stop giving me orders!
Oh, of course, this building block is impassable.
Because of war! So much for the mock, too. It's nothing but a joke. It's a toy.
Now, I'm operating on the assumption that we don't have some ridiculous bonus objective where we're supposed to destroy Camille here. Because this whole route has been different so far, so I wouldn't put it past them for that to be a thing.
I'm coming back now.
Not a bad finishing shot with the beam sword held level. And the Taklama Desert. Okay, yeah. Oh, we're partnered with Rosamia for this one.
Heading out.
And we have to make sure the allied battle gauge doesn't deplete, so added displeasure. More effectively defensive things. At least this time we're not protecting
Enemy detected. I'm beginning my attack.
Okay, well she's just
Roger.
oh, Gundam ground types again. 1-year war machines. What is this? Wow, Methus. Really? Why were you even included in Gundam Evolution? Gotta try to avoid that friendly fire, because we need to defend our allies. For some reason. Ow. This is proving pretty uneventful. Some interesting, like, map locations and so forth that we haven't really run into yet, but other than that, it's nothing special. Oh, come on. Again, how do you miss at point blank? I think shoulders aren't that wide. Oh my god. Yeah, that wasn't a melee attack, it was an intimidating breakdance maneuver. That's what that was. Don't question it.
Anybody who gets in my way.
Death by uppercut. What is this, Mortal Kombat? Oh, and another bottom first explosion. Does that mean I claw punched it in the taint? Is that what happened? Probably. And another 1-year war map. I don't know why it's surprising at this point. Oh boy. We got a time limit. You know what? I'm gonna put a level of upgrade. We'll probably need more than that before the end. There's no alt route for this, which kind of screws over what I had planned, because I was doing this so that I would have an alt route.
Looks like he's been waiting for me all along.
Okay, it's fine, it's fine.
The Newtype lab said it would return my memories if I could only defeat them. My memories are over there.
What are you doing? Damn, nothing stopped.
Ow.
Anybody who gets in my way.
Deploy and attack. Now, you see, here's the problem. Like, I'd love to have great commentary during these sections, but aside from the fact that it's too hot for my brain to work, I mean, most of what would be even tangentially related to Gundam that I could talk about while playing this, I've said already. And it's basically like, I mean, this, I've made a point during this LP that this is a different route, that we're doing something different, but that's basically all I have to say. I mean, favorite mobile suits, I've done that. The fusion power, weirdly, I've done that. You know, the geopolitics of Mobile Suit Gundam and the metaphysics of Newtype theory, I've done that. There's nothing left to say! At this point, I might as well talk about my favorite sandwich. I honestly don't think I have a favorite sandwich. Like, I want to say roast beef, but I don't know. I don't think I've sampled like the wide world of sandwiches enough to know what would be a favorite. Because there's probably like the ultimate sandwich out there, and I've just never tried it. Because I'm just happy with like some cheese, lettuce, and roast beef. And some onion. No mustard.
I'm coming back now.
Favorite pizza would probably be like... Oh, it's a shame they don't have like a 3 or 5 cheese with a 3 meat. I mean, I don't know, they probably do. I don't.
Let's go.
Because I like 3 meat, but I also like a zesty cheese or like a 5 cheese, so get those two things together.
The enemy is here. Looks like he's been waiting for me all along.
I know that I opted out completely on choosing my favorite type of lo mein, because it's like, do you want it with chicken, beef, or pork? And I just went, yes. Just put all 3 of them in there. Give me a works... Why isn't that a thing? Why isn't there just lo mein with all 3 in there? Just give me that. Do this for me. I mean, I don't even think... Well, no, pork is like a regular thing in lo mein. I remember in my school years, we had a field trip to Chinatown. And there was a scavenger hunt. I remember that my team was the only one to actually find everything in the scavenger hunt. And the runner-up, which was headed by the only other student as nerdy as I was, the runner-up team was missing 1 item, and it was an abacus. We found an abacus because we checked old shops, you know, like places where they sell lucky cats. Now, the hilarity of that, of course, is the fact that, like, is that perhaps a bit of a stereotype that in Chinatown somebody would be old-timey enough to have an abacus? Marasai, can you back off? I'm trying to keep him off of you. Oh my god, the Marasai just wants to die. Like, seriously, we take 1 more hit. We have the reinforcement gauge for, like, 2 losses. But this Marasai... Oh my god, no, yeah, he is suicidal. Great. In a defensive mission, I've got a suicidal Marasai. I know Camille is trying to bail, but we can clean this out if we kill him. It'll be over for the age. Baran, get out of my oh my god. Yes, Marasai. Now you're entreating me to end you. Get out of my goddamn face. Yeah, we found everything on the scavenger hunt, and then we went out for, like, legit Chinese food, not that American French, you know, franchise Chinese eatery, like actual Chinese food. which was actually really good. There was like some red, I don't know what it was, but it was like in a pastry, and that stuff was delicious, and I hate that I don't know what it is, because I can't like find it to find out where I can get more of it. There was no lo mein though. We ended up with like pork strips and so forth. And what, crab rangoons? Crab rangoons? I don't know. The things. We had those. And that's when I found out that I liked those, because when we used to get Chinese, I never got those.
Let's go.
It's like, you know what, these are actually really good.
The Newtype lab said it would return my memories if I could only defeat them.
I'm not going to comment on Thai food because I've never had Thai food or Indian food. I had the foreign franchise eatery stuff that was like common in the 90s. You know, because that's what was just there. And I haven't really followed food trends since, because it would be an expensive thing to follow. Now, with regards to Hawaiian pizza, I don't know. I don't see the appeal of having pineapple on a pizza. Like, I'll eat a supreme pizza. I don't have a problem with like fruit on a pizza, but pineapple seems like an odd choice. Why? It's very tart. Why would you put tart on a pizza? Like, put olives or pepper. Make it spicy. Why would you put pineapple? That's just my preference, though, because I know a lot of people like Hawaiian pizza. I mean, I remember when I realized that notion that your tastes actually do change when you get older. The first time I had like a spaghetti with actual spaghetti sauce and Parmesan cheese. Because when I was young, I tried that, and I'm like, this stuff is revolting. I hate it. And then, like, I didn't actually have honest spaghetti with Parmesan and spaghetti sauce and some meat in it, too. Like, oh, it wasn't anything, like, legitimately Italian, like pastrami or anything like that. It was literally just, like, burger cuts, like, almost an American chop suey type of thing. But I remember having that in my 20s, and I'm like, this is actually really good. Why did I used to hate this?
Forgive anybody who gets in my way.
But no, you do. You need to, like, keep trying stuff. Because, yeah, your tastes change when you get older. You like stuff that you didn't like before, and you don't like stuff that you did like before. I mean, that's a weird revelation for a lot of people, because most people don't... Oh, this is a map I don't think we've ever been on in this LP. The Atlantic Ocean map. I remember it from, Federation vs. Xeon. Oh, why are we launching an Agrabro? What's the mission brief? Escape to the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, despite several missions in which we attempted to stop them. We're using a Grabro. At least they give us a 2-star Grabro, because this is going to be tricky. I mean, it's all water, so we're in the right machine for this. Apart from the carriers, of course.
If you want your memories back, Vincent, you just have to prove
I'd love to hit that Nemo, but Baran is there.
Forgive anybody who gets in my way.
Of course. Oh, come on. He became damage immune at that very second. And how did that not connect? Incidentally, when you look at the Grabro, it's very easy to see that the Shambalo was, it drew heavily from the design of the Grabro. Because it's got, like, the two front legs, and when it's underwater, it literally just looks like a Grabro.
What are you doing? What? Die!
Seriously, his shield absorbed that? Yeah, I have the benefit of, like, in life, I can remember the precise, like, moment that I, like, okay, this was the time I stopped liking this and started liking this, or, you know, the moment where some fundamental change to my tastes occurred, because my memory's good.
You got in my way.
Nobody cares, Barzan.
I'm coming back now.
This is a lot of Earth stuff. I get that 4 never went to space in the anime, but this is a lot of Earth stuff.
Let's go.
I think that's why we're going into so many, like, esoteric maps, because they literally just needed, or they wanted, like, it all to be on Earth, but it all can't happen on the same map, so we're doing all the Earth maps.
Right from the beginning, I saw fit.
Very well, Itzy. You're free to do as you wish.
Ow. Okay, we're non-amphi machines up against amphi machines. Let's get out of the ocean. Oh my god! And now he's damage immune. Get up so I can do this. And then leave the ocean. Oh. Ow.
Gets in my way. You'll all die.
Yeah, that's a sort of weird developmental dissonance that, you know, as we get older, you know, aspects about ourselves change, but we forget a time when it wasn't like that. And so in our minds, like, oh no, we were always like this. We don't have a sense of continuity of self. I do have a sense of continuity of self because I understand that who I am now, it was informed by everything that happened before. So all of those failures really were necessary. Again, I missed the beam blast at point blank! And he was damaging you. Oh! 2 for 1 with the shot. Now this is refreshing. I find my interest in this slightly renewed by the fact that it's much stranger Mobile Suit mashups. We've got like Xeon machines, One-Year War Federation machines, mobile armor, battleships, maps that we've never used, a Xeon mobile armor. I mean, this is just different. And that's a good thing. Trouble is that, you know, is this just all going to be on Earth? It's starting to look that way.
Launching.
On Earth, where everybody knows your
Been
name.
waiting for me all along.
God, am I actually making a Cheers reference? Even with the reboot that was kind of terrible, nobody's gonna fucking get that reference. I didn't even watch the show myself, I just remember the intro because it was one of those, like, earworm catchy theme songs.
Because you got in my way. Nick, I won't forgive anybody who gets in my way. You'll all die!
Well, you know, it helps that we haven't run into named characters that often, but the Bound Doc is killing it.
You!
I mean, we are also up against machines that are like an era out of date, so that might also be a contributing factor. Where's Baran in Gundam Mark II? What the hell? Wow. Well, we haven't run his, Newtype Research Accelerator route, so maybe his will also be like this. That'll be a nice little widget. It won't be next, because it would just be the same thing over and over and over again, which this whole game is kind of blurring into. Oh, the head actually keeps facing forward, even though the body does a full 360. Yeah, I don't think they could have, I don't think they could have made the body fully rotate to fire, like, in any direction. Because the thing is, it would require a whole new, like, programming for target acquisition, because it has that 360-degree pivot as an animation for its transformation and drawing its weapon, but its standard firing behavior has the same, like, waist joint arc limit as all the other mobile suits. Like, I think that's a standard feature. So you wouldn't be able to let it be a tank. Instead, you have to operate by Battletech rules.
Heading out.
God, Battletech, that's... I mean, I've got one of those Steam libraries where I got a bunch of stuff as part of bundles on sale, and the problem is that I just haven't gotten to so much of it. And Battletech is one of those things where I, like, played it for 2 hours and, like, cleared it out for some hard drive space because I wanted to take time to read up on it and learn, like, what are the mechanics that are most important, so I don't make a bad decision early on. Because I ended up skipping, like, a bunch of jobs on a planet, and that was probably a bad idea. And so, like, Battletech is one of the things I want to get back to.
Hit him!
Thing is, because I never did any LPing with Battletech, people don't get the reason for my naming convention for New Vegas Lunatic, because that's basically like my RPG character is just Next Blackheart. And I had a mercenary company called Blackheart's Marauders. Sounds like a pirate name, which is ironic because I'm not in on the whole, like, pirate thing. It's not a style or a fashion that I have a lot of interest in, unlike some people, but yeah. Well, I considered it more of a Vulcan reference, you know? Cold, logical, perhaps to some extent heartless, so Blackheart. Like Bones calling Spock out for being a green-blooded hobgoblin. Oh. You know, and it didn't even occur to me that, like, first of all, the pointy ears, so goblin, yes, although you could also say elf, but I don't think that works for Vulcans. But the green-blooded thing is something that they actually kind of screwed up in the the new movies for Star Trek because they show Vulcans bleeding red, but Vulcans bleed green. Like with Spock, you might be able to get away with it because he's half human, but
Forgive anybody who gets in my way.
I think in the original series he also bled green. So somebody just forgot that Vulcans don't bleed red, they bleed green.
I'm coming back now.
Newtype core, the Aug and Karaba have been driven from Earth. Four's duty is now fulfilled. At last she is released from life as a warrior. Would that happen, though? Like, they can always just blank her out and stuff another narrative into her, like something out of Dollhouse. That's basically what they were doing. Treat them like the hosts from Westworld. I haven't the foggiest idea what the next one will be, because I had thought originally that this would lead to a tangent route that I could pair with... Where is it? I think I know what's coming next.